Prime Minister very emotional, choked when he said the opposition wants to effectively silence me.
कहाँ गला घोटा? सबने तो उनकी आवाज सुनी. गला किसी का घोटा तो मणिपुर का घोटा, क्योंकि मणिपुर के सांसद को बस 2 मिनट चाहिए थे बात रखने के लिए.
Are you saying that it was good that the Congress lost Himanta? You had a very heated argument with a member of the BJP who he called you stupid.
Uttered a word which immediately I threw in my mental dustbin.
Gaurav, let me start by asking you, how different does the Congress party and the morale feel today compared to 5 months ago?
The Congress party feels, I think, in a very combative mood. We feel that our mission is not finished yet. We feel that it's a mission that has begun after the Bharat Jodo Yatra, and I think there's a lot more to be done. So while we do play the role of a constructive opposition, I think our mission to ensure that the parliament is a much more democratic space, that India is a safer space for everyone, and all institutions get the autonomy that they deserve. I think we still feel that we are yet to be, we are still in election mode and we have a lot to do.
So let me pick up the fact that you said you're going to be a constructive opposition. When the Prime Minister, and you're the deputy leader of the party in the House, so I'm asking you this, when the Prime Minister spoke in the House, he was shouted down by all of you. You were raising slogans about Manipur, you were moving towards the well. Later videos, किसी को पता नहीं वो videos किसने shoot किया, but videos emerged that seemed to show Rahul Gandhi encouraging opposition members to go towards the well. Why didn't you let the Prime Minister speak?
The context of that incident was that our second MP from Manipur wanted to speak. And I think it would have been very magnanimous of the Prime Minister to have said that, listen, it is my turn to speak, but if the Honorable MP from Manipur wants to say, I am here, I want to send a message of solidarity to the people of Manipur. I want to show them that here is the Prime Minister willing to listen to a representative of Manipur. I respect their mandate and I will allow the Honorable Member to have his 2 minutes of say. Instead, he just continued on pretending as if we didn't exist, pretending as if Manipur didn't exist. Surely the shouts of allow the Manipur MP to speak for 2 minutes would have fallen on his ears.
Why did it have to be at that moment?
Because that was our time.
But that was the Prime Minister's time, right?
No, but the Prime Minister can choose. We had been asking for the Manipur MP to be allowed his opportunity to speak for an hour before the Prime Minister was scheduled to speak. Prime Minister was scheduled to speak at 4:15. Since 3 o'clock, we've been asking that we know that the Honorable Prime Minister has to speak at 4:15. Allow the second MP from Manipur to speak, because Manipur is divided amongst two communities. And you cannot just have one side represent their views on the record inside Parliament. There has to be the other side represented. And I'm glad that Rahul Gandhi continuously said that no, both sides of Manipur, their views need to be recorded on the House, and that's why he took a very strident opposition to when we were just being blatantly ignored. Remember in the past, when, if you look into history, when Nehru ji was the Prime Minister and there was a young Vajpayee ji sitting in the opposition, if Vajpayee ji wanted to say, Prime Minister Nehru was patient. So I think it would have been magnanimous, and especially at a time when everybody is questioning Prime Minister Modi's commitment to Manipur, his decision not to have travelled to Manipur still, for him to have just sat down and listened, I think we missed a great opportunity, both the ruling and the opposition, but more of the ruling.
The BJP says that when Rahul Gandhi, as leader of opposition, spoke the previous day, the BJP listened patiently and the Congress didn't return the favour.
Absolutely lied.
Why?
Because you've seen how many ministers interjected. How many? The Prime Minister himself interjected.
But they didn't shout him down.
Prime Minister himself interjected.
When he said Hindu Samaj, when Rahul Gandhi was holding up a lot of religious leaders' pictures, and Mr. Modi said, you are insulting all Hindus, and Rahul Gandhi said, Narendra Modi does not equal Hindu community.
Everybody saw Prime Minister Modi trying to twist what Rahul Gandhi ji said. Everybody saw Prime Minister Modi not once but twice getting up. Everybody saw Home Minister getting out 4 times and Minister A, B, C, D, E, F, 7 cabinet ministers interrupted. So I do not know how BJP, on what leg are they standing when they said that they allowed us to speak. Mr. Gandhi was continuously speaking, remained constructive, remained combative as he should as a leader of opposition. But all of them, including the Prime Minister, interrupted him. And in to everybody's plain view, he twisted his facts. When everybody understood, even the Shankaracharya had understood that when Rahul Gandhi ji was saying that what he meant, that a certain section of Hindus are inciting conflict, he meant the BJP because he was pointing to them. But what did the Prime Minister do? He did what he always does, which is to create propaganda and create fake news.
Let's reflect a little bit more on that speech by Rahul Gandhi. It was unusual for many reasons, because through the campaign, your party seemed to avoid getting into issues of religious debates with the BJP. Obviously, somewhere you had calculated that if you talk about religion, it's advantage BJP. Let's make economics, unemployment, social justice the plank. Then comes Rahul Gandhi talking about Hinduism, talking about, for everyone from Guru Nanak to the Prophet to Lord Shiva and so on. You basically decided to play on the BJP's turf. Why this shift in strategy?
I don't agree with your assumption. I think Rahul ji has always, and the Congress party has always differentiated between the BJP's version of Hindutva and Hinduism. We've always tried to explain what Hinduism means, that Gandhi ji, more than Godse, Gandhi ji is the real ambassador, a political ambassador of Hinduism when he advocates truth and compassion. And I don't think that we have followed the BJP. We have always followed the message that Gandhi ji spread, that we are a deeply religious country, but at the same time, every religion has space. We often quote Swami Vivekananda, who said in his famous Chicago speech that India is a country where all religions are allowed to practice freely. And the BJP right now are against the principles of Gandhi and against the principles of Swami Vivekananda. So I think we've been following our Indian value, civilization, and the model of democracy that is admired the world over.
I'm not saying Hinduism and Hindutva are the same. One is a faith, the other is a political construct. But what I'm asking is there a rethinking in the Congress on whether this should be brought into your political discourse? I'll give you another example. When the Ayodhya Member of Parliament, Avdesh Prasad, who won from the Samajwadi Party but was a joint opposition candidate, when he took oath in Parliament, there were chants of Jai Shri Ram from the floor. And those chants came not from the BJP but from the Samajwadi Party. So what I'm asking is there a kind of rethinking, maybe not formally, maybe subconsciously, that you're no longer going to stay away from discussing matters of faith in your political discourse?
Again, as I said, there's no rethinking. We've been very consistent. We've been consistently advocating the principles of Hinduism. On the day the Ram Mandir was officially inaugurated, that day itself, Shri Rahul Gandhi ji was in Assam and wanted to visit Batordova Than, which is the birthplace of a very secular spiritual saint from Assam, Himanta Sankardev. So even prior to that, on various occasions, Rahul Gandhi ji and the Congress party have been advocating about Hinduism being a religion which encompasses everyone. And whether it's Hinduism, Sikhism, Christianity, Islam, they all teach us the basic tenets of every faith is to be a better human being and a better society. So this, where I disagree with you is this notion of rethinking. I think we have been consistent that Hinduism as a religion is very different from the political construct Hindutva, as you mentioned.
What is, according to you, the main message from the verdict? Because you opened by saying we're in a very combative mode, we're still in election mode, but we're going to be a constructive opposition. What people can't seem to decode is that the party that has 99 seats is behaving like the victor, and the party that has 240 seats is being treated like it just lost the election. Now, of course, it's a big knock for Mr. Modi personally that the BJP slipped below majority. But you're not within grasp of government formation. Why then this very gung-ho mood in the Congress?
Well, the answer lies in your question. You asked me what is the verdict, and the verdict is that people wanted a strong opposition. People were unhappy with the arrogance. People were unhappy that power was being unchecked. People were unhappy that they had no platform to voice their fears and anxieties and express their apprehensions against the BJP's politics. And that's why in Parliament, when I spoke, I said the people this time have not voted for the ruling. It is not vote for Modi. It is a vote for the opposition.
Or how do you say that? You could argue that it's a vote to contain Modi, to clip his wings. How is it a vote for the opposition?
Because at the same time, in 2014, 2019, many BJP MPs just won on the name of Prime Minister Modi. And this time, Prime Minister Modi himself was trailing in his own seat. So forget about influencing other people. He could not even win with a significant margin in the seat of
he did eventually. He was trailing in the beginning.
The margin of Rahul Gandhi ji in Raebareli is much more higher than the margin of Prime Minister Modi in Varanasi. The Lok Sabha seats surrounding Varanasi, the BJP lost to Samajwadi. So forget about Prime Minister Modi influencing UP. They didn't influence anybody else. Whereas the message for Rahul Gandhi, the entire narrative has changed. The perception has changed. For me, I always knew the person is the same person, but the public perception was different. And that's why I said that it's a vote for the opposition and this is a vote for LOP, Rahul Gandhi.
I'll come to Rahul Gandhi and whether he's changed or the perception of him has changed in a moment. But let's talk about your home state, Assam. Now, you won your own seat with a very, very impressive margin. But it was one of 3 seats that the Congress won in Assam and the other seats were won by the BJP. So it's a long haul for you to rebuild your base in Assam. Do you acknowledge that?
Let's talk about Assam in the context of the Northeast. The BJP had 2 MPs from Manipur, they've lost both. The BJP had an NDA ally in Nagaland, they lost that. The BJP had an NDA ally winning from the seat of Tura in Meghalaya, they've lost that. And they've also could not combat the Shillong Lok Sabha. So our tally in the Northeast has increased. While the BJP has the rhetoric that Congress ignored Northeast and Prime Minister Modi goes to Northeast so many times, but the tally has gone down. Even in Assam, the seats that we have won are extremely politically significant. We won the seat of Dhubri with the single largest margin in the 2024 elections, where the Muslims of Assam have voted out a party which is headed by a religious scholar and follows communal politics. So the Muslims have negated communal politics in Assam. Similarly, in my seat, we've been losing that seat with a margin of 90,000, 1 lakh votes for the last 2 elections. And today, everybody understands that the Chief Minister of Assam and the entire BJP cabinet sat in that seat to defeat the Congress party, the Jorhat seat, and yet we won comfortably with a margin of close to 1.5 lakh votes. So the people in Assam have defeated Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sarma in Jorhat, and the people of Assam have defeated Maulana Ajmal in Dhubri, and that's why the number 3 is much more significant than the 3 number of seats.
But it's still 3 out of 14. I understand the larger Northeast point, but it's 3 out of 14 seats.
That's what I'm saying towards the end, that even last time in 19 we won 3 seats, even this time in 24 we won 3 seats. But politics is not just about numbers. The political impact of these 3 is far greater than the impact of the 3 seats that we won last time.
Let's talk a little bit about the Chief Minister of Assam, Himanta Biswa Sarma. Today, one of the most high-profile BJP leaders, once a very sort of old-time congressman. Now, your father, Tarun Gogoi, was of course the Chief Minister of Assam, and I mentioned this in the context that another former Congress leader, Ghulam Nabi Azad, in his memoirs and in an interview to me, he told this story, and that was shared subsequently by Himanta Biswa, who obviously agreed with it, that when Mr. Tarun Gogoi was still the Chief Minister, Himanta had decided to basically launch a rebellion. Mr. Azad says that Himanta had the support of about 40 legislators, that he had more support than Tarun Gogoi. And Ghulam Nabi Azad took this to Sonia Gandhi. Sonia Gandhi gives Azad the mandate to sort this out, but Rahul Gandhi calls Azad, apparently per Mr. Azad's telling, you and your father are sitting with Rahul Gandhi at the time, and Rahul Gandhi says, "Jaane do unko RSS mein. Jana hai to jane do." Is that how it happened according to you?
I think it's not totally a non-fiction book or a pure historical book. It's a slightly fictional book, and obviously the author has the liberty of adding their elements of creativity, and I'm no one to speak against a senior like Ghulam Nabi Azad, but let us just say that both Ghulam Nabi Azad and Himanta Biswa Sarma choose to no longer be in the Congress party. So birds of a feather flock together. Secondly, when it comes to Himanta Biswa Sarma, I admire Rahul Gandhi's sagacity for identifying that this person is not a true congressman. Look at
After so many years, though.
But that's the foresight and sagacity. Look at the kind of communal poison he's been spewing. I'm ashamed that a chief minister from Assam, from where we are known to be the land of secularism, the land of Bhupen Hazarika, the land of Himanta Sankardev, here is a chief minister that is spewing such communal poison that when I come to Delhi, people in Delhi ask me, what is your chief minister saying? So we hang our heads in shame. But it is the sagacity of Rahul Gandhi in his brief conversations with Himanta Biswa Sarma to see that here lies not a true congressman, and here is a politically Machiavellian character. And it's best that between a legend like Rahul Gogoi and somebody like Himanta Biswa Sarma, the Congress party is safer in the leadership of Rahul Gogoi. And I think that turned out to be a smart decision in the long term, because we don't want these people who don't have the Congress fiber to be in the Congress party. Right now, I think there's been a lot of cleansing. I'm glad for the cleansing, and I'm glad that I was the one who sat with the Congress party for the last 10 years when, again, I come back to the public perception of Rahul Gandhi was very negative. People were talking about Congress Mukta Bharat. People were talking about other opposition parties, regional parties taking the opposition space of the Congress. We stuck it out. We did the Yatras. We've done the groundwork. And here we are with close to 98, 99, with a leader of opposition and who still continues to connect with soldiers, laborers, students, farmers, and continues to represent their voices. And we have clearly distinguished ourselves with the BJP, and Rahul Gandhi has clearly distinguished himself from Prime Minister Modi.
I'll come to Rahul Gandhi in just a moment, but staying with Himanta, you are basically saying...
You want to stay? I don't want to.
I have just one more question.
It's very popular in Delhi media that when interviews are taken of me, they will link with Himanta Biswa Sarma.
I have not even met Himanta Biswa in years, but as a news person, I must ask one follow-up question. And the follow-up question is this. Are you saying that it was good that the Congress lost Himanta?
I think that Rahul Gandhi ji is someone for whom the Congress philosophy is very important. In the last 10 years, there were many people within the Congress party who, when you alluded to your earlier question, wanted a change in the Congress's philosophy, wanted a slight nuancing of the Congress ideology. I don't want to take names, but those people are also no longer with the Congress party. They all have shifted. And in many, I'm sure in private and public spaces, they have said that Congress party should be more like the BJP. And I'm glad that, we are where we are because the Gandhi family continued to be a philosophical fountain of the Congress party. They held the spiritual and they held our ideological and political core, and that's why where we are. And right now we do need, at a time when there is so much of hate and polarization, we do need ideologically committed people within the Congress party.
So in a way, you're suggesting that those who left the Congress were not ideologically committed. But you know that many of those who left were your own colleagues, your own peers, some of them even your own friends. And many of them left because they did not see a future, a political future for themselves. They didn't necessarily leave on ideological grounds, but they left because they needed to safeguard their future. So are you saying everybody who left, Jitin Prasad, Jyotiraditya Scindia, Milind Deora, let's not talk about only Himanta, let me talk about three people who are in your generation of leaders, who have been your friends, who have been your colleagues. All of these people are ideologically elastic?
Again, I don't want to take names, but at the same time, how much pain and suffering have people who've remained with the Congress party gone through? They've been to jail. A person like Chidambaram ji spent 100 days in jail. They've been at the forefront of, they've been at the back and facing the heat of so many ED investigations. At the same time, a person like Rahul Gandhi ji, his MP membership was disqualified for a temporary being. So what about us? Those who have stuck with the Congress party for the last 10 years have suffered far greater. And many individuals who have gone beyond, I think, took a very narrow and a short-sighted view. I think today they must be regretting that here we are on the cusp of a major recovery. Right now, India has changed. The India pre-2024 is different from the India which is post-2024. Today, we see the beginning of the Congress party, of the resurgence, and today we see the beginning of the downfall of the BJP party under Prime Minister Modi.
So before I come to Rahul Gandhi, you mentioned Gandhi and Godse a few times. And for those of us who tracked the parliament debates this week, you had a very heated argument with a member of the BJP who used to be a judge. And he was a judge who said that one would have to think a little bit about, where one should weigh in on Godse's philosophy. You confronted him on this in parliament. Although the word was expunged, he called you stupid, and then the word was expunged. What do you make of that whole very heated fight that you had with the justice?
Well, I don't know why BJP likes judges who are not very clear on where they stand. They've taken a former Chief Justice from Assam who even questioned the basic structure of the Constitution and said that there are certain that the basic structure can be modified. And here they have chosen in West Bengal a judge who
You're talking about Chief Justice Gogoi?
Yes, Chief Justice of
India Gogoi.
Former Chief Justice of India Gogoi has questioned whether the basic structure of the Indian Constitution can be permanent or not. And this particular judge from West Bengal seems to, after so many years, still cannot make up his mind on where he stands on Gandhiji and Godse. So I think that BJP likes judges of a certain ambivalence, and it's unfortunate. I think there's some very fine people in the judiciary, but it's unfortunate whether in Assam, West Bengal, and now in Madhya Pradesh, there are certain judges who are actually letting down the judiciary with their words, not their actions, but their words. I think it does not behove of the Indian judiciary for a member to say that they don't have a firm position on Gandhi versus Godse. I don't think it behoves Indian justice system when a former Chief Justice says that the basic structure of the Indian Constitution can be tampered with. So I think this, goes down a very dangerous path. And I think that's the bigger question. And that's the question I wanted to ask of the honorable member, that has he reached some clarity or not? Because on his ABP Anand interview, he did not. But I guess he did not have the answer to my question and, uttered a word which immediately I threw in my mental dustbin.
How many other words are there in your mental dustbin?
I keep cleaning them out. You need to empty the trash at the end of the day.
Let's talk about Rahul Gandhi. You have had Rahul Gandhi either written off, or there have been many other kinds of narratives, the reinvention of Rahul Gandhi 1, Rahul Gandhi 2, Rahul Gandhi 3. Has Rahul Gandhi changed? Because life and experience does change people. The more experience I have, the better journalist I am. I'm sure the more experience you have, the better politician you are. So has Rahul Gandhi grown as a politician, or is it that you believe that people were wrong about him?
No, all human beings evolve. As you said yourself, you as a journalist compared yourself to 10 years ago were a different person, and from 20 years ago was a different person. So obviously, like every other human being, Rahul Gandhi in 2004 is very different from the Rahul Gandhi of 2014, is very different of the Rahul Gandhi of 2024. But the essential...
Name one thing that you think has changed.
But the more point is, the essential character that you are, is the same girl or that you were in your 20s, is the same woman that you were in your 30s.
Agreed.
And again, is this the same moral fiber, character that Rahul Gandhiji has nothing has changed in that. And obviously we do evolve as all people evolve. And I must say the public perception, Barkha, when I came in 2014 to Delhi, I don't know what was, brewing in the air. Everywhere I went, people were, questioning about Rahul Gandhi. And today there's a great change. If you look at social media, all the memes are on Prime Minister Modi. All the, stand-up comedy of which I'm a fan of, all the jokes seems to be on the Prime Minister and on the BJP as well.
Can you take a joke about yourself?
Absolutely. I love jokes about myself. I think telling a good joke is a fine art.
It is.
It's about timing.
Yes.
And I'm married to an English woman, and I think in English have this character of self-deprecation.
That's right.
And I've taken that habit from her, and I love a good joke.
Good for you. But carry on. You said all the memes today, you think something has changed. Hawa mein kuch badal gaya hai.
Absolutely. And I think that a lot has to do with Rahul Gandhi's decision to embark upon the Yatra. Because on the Yatra, you saw him unfiltered, uncensored, without the bias of the media or section of media that is very partisan towards the Congress party. And I think that broke many wrong notions. And I think, people would say, would he remain consistent? That question was asked. Then they said, will he take LOP? That question was answered. So every time the Congress party has asked of Rahul Gandhi, do a yatra. It's not so easy, but he did the yatra. After the first yatra was done, it was so successful, we told him, do another yatra. He says, okay, fine, I'll do another yatra. And then after this victory, he says, now take the LOP, and he's taking the LOP. And I'm seeing him from as a deputy leader from up very close. And I can say I was the deputy leader in the Lok Sabha as well. And Rahul Gandhi is leaving in a very small moment of time a strong imprint on how the Congress party is functioning inside the parliament.
So you talk about the Bharat Jodo Yatra as a game changer, and I think a lot of people would agree with you. But the second yatra that he took out, it also exposed a certain degree of tensions in the India Bloc alliance. For example, Mamata Banerjee at one point was very angry. She eventually went it alone in West Bengal. She felt that Rahul Gandhi had not shown her the respect of consulting her before bringing the yatra through Nitish Kumar's party, before they left and went back to the BJP. They said that, there was Nitish ji could have been made convener, and Rahul Gandhi pushed back. Even when Mallikarjun Kharge's name was presented as a possible prime ministerial candidate, there's a sense that the Congress didn't sign off on that immediately. So what I'm asking you is, what happens now to the India Alliance? The India Alliance came together for 2024. Now what is its future?
I think one should not only look at the second yatra through the remarks of our India Alliance leaders, but also understand that the very idea of saving the constitution and saving democracy, which had such an important role in the voters' mind of 2024, that idea germinated in the second Bharat Jodo Nyaya Yatra. The second Bharat Jodo Nyaya Yatra was about caste census, what about social justice, about constitution. And I think this, as he traveled from Manipur to Mumbai, that's where the idea that besides the Congress manifesto, saving democracy and saving constitution is going to be a very important part. And you saw that in the elections, whether Maharashtra, whether Rajasthan, whether UP, this idea was very powerful. And I said, that's why the second yatra was so successful from that point of view. And for the India Alliance, we continue to work together. And again, I think we have to be grateful for the leadership of Mallikarjun Kharge ji. He brings such gravitas and such respect to the position of Congress party president, as well as such respect to the relationship with India Alliance parties, that despite the occasional hiccups, broadly we are on very good terms, we are working together. And you can see that in the upcoming Niti Aayog meeting, India Alliance chief ministers have decided to boycott in protest to this budget, which was a Kursi Bachao budget. It was not a budget for Union of India or the budget for all states of India. It was a budget which was only for the BJP to mollify the leaders of the JDU and the TDP.
Now, but you spoke earlier about ideological consistency. There are those who say that the India Alliance is a kind of pastiche, a patchwork of parties that needed to come together against Modi. They're not necessarily ideologically on the same page. The biggest examples of that are the Congress and the Uddhav Thackeray Shiv Sena. The Uddhav Thackeray Shiv Sena considers itself the original Hindutva party. So there are ideological contradictions even on your side that could play out and have played out, for example, when it comes to Veer Savarkar and so on, and you have a Maharashtra election coming up.
I think Maharashtra is going to win for sure. I think the way...
For sure?
Yes, and the way the Congress party has been run, it has always been an umbrella of multiple ideas. Right from its inception, right from the days of the freedom struggle, there was a Subhash Chandra Bosu in Congress party, there was a Mahatma Gandhi in Congress party. So we are accustomed to holding diversity on a unified platform, and we bring that experience of governing a party as well as governing India, a country of so many diverse languages and states, to the India Alliance as well. And there might be small degrees of separation in terms of our ideology, and it should be. I don't want the parties to be replica of themselves. We should all complement each other. And broadly, when it comes to democracy and constitution, I think we are united. And I do see a difference between how Shiv Sena preaches its political philosophy from what the BJP does. I find Uddhav Thackeray ji's understanding of the Hindu religion very different from what Prime Minister Modi feels.
As deputy leader, talk a little bit about how Parliament feels different. I ask you this because just a few months ago, the defining image out of Parliament were the mass suspensions of opposition MPs, and opposition MPs were sitting on the steps protesting. What has changed? Is the BJP being more conciliatory after this result?
The BJP does not know how to change, and I don't expect any change. I expect the BJP to double down. I expect the BJP to continue with its policies of suspension, to not refer bills to the standing committee, and largely because it is Prime Minister Modi's BJP. And Prime Minister Modi talks about consensus outside of Parliament, but refuses to have a single day devoted to discussing NEET or offer the position of Deputy Speaker to the opposition. So from the BJP, in terms of the actions, I don't expect anything different. But the way they're conducting themselves, Barkha, I do see a change. This is a BJP who know that they have scraped by. Many of their own MPs have barely won. Somebody has won with a margin of 48 votes. Somebody has won with a margin of 600 votes. Somebody from UP, Prime Minister's political, state, has won with a margin of 5,000 votes. So they themselves understand, they feel the pulse, and it shows on their faces. So while they try to act with a false sense of bravado, one can see through that veneer. Whereas the Congress party, the India Alliance, it's good to see so many of our MPs coming from North India. In the past, we did not have adequate representation from Haryana, from Maharashtra. Today, we have 13 MPs from Maharashtra. We have 5 MPs from Haryana. We have 9 MPs from Rajasthan. To see the North also being reflected in our presence, I think that's very gratifying. Otherwise, I was the one who was speaking in Hindi in the past. But now, thankfully, we have other members from Hindi-speaking states who are able to communicate our party's position.
You spoke about NEET, but the Supreme Court has, the BJP says the Supreme Court has already said the last word on it. So why do you need a separate discussion?
How does not having a retest sit with that there's nothing wrong with the NEET system? The Supreme Court has said that there should be no retest because we don't want inconvenience. But at the same time, there has been paper leaks. There are investigations in Bihar. We know that the NTA itself had to cancel several exams because the papers got leaked on the dark web. There's a reason why the NTA chairman has been changed. So just because the court has said that should be no retest does not mean that the higher education sector is squeaky clean. And if the BJP is using that as a shield, I think there is something dirty. There is something there. There's a cover-up. And that's why we continue to press upon a day in Parliament discussing the Indian education sector.
Speaking outside Parliament, the Prime Minister, very emotional, choked when he said the opposition wants to effectively silence me.
I think he's following American politics a bit too much. I think that remarks and the remarks of the BJP has come after the unfortunate attempt with respect to former President Donald Trump. And I think they're trying to correlate India.
In what way?
They're trying to correlate India, because I saw TV talk shows in which many BJP spokesperson and on many mainstream channels, they try to correlate what happened in the US with what's happening in India. And clearly, the language, गला घोट दिया. कहाँ गला घोटा? सबने तो उनकी आवाज सुनी. सबने तो 2 घंटे तक उनकी भाषण सुना. तो गला घोटने की बात कहाँ है? अगर गला
आप लोग चलाते रहे ना,
तो गला किसी का घुटा तो उन बच्चों का घुटा जिन्होंने नीट पर लेकर कोई चर्चा नहीं हुआ. गला किसी का घुटा तो मणिपुर का घुटा, क्योंकि मणिपुर के सांसद को बस 2 मिनट चाहिए थे बात रखने के लिए. तो इस प्रकार का भ्रम, प्रोपेगेंडा, आई थिंक दिस जस्ट शोज अ वीकनेस ऑफ द प्राइम मिनिस्टर दैट ही इज ट्राइंग टू garner this kind of emotions. I think the time is for the Prime Minister is to course correct, to understand the verdict. The verdict, as I said, is for a strong opposition. The verdict is for respect for opposition, respect for diversity. And as RSS Chief Mohan Bhagwat says, we are not their enemies. Don't treat us like your enemies. We have a different point of view, and the Indian public has the right to hear to all points of view.
In 2024, the opposition did not declare a prime ministerial candidate. Now, with more confidence and spring in your step, are you looking ahead to 2029, inevitably seeing Rahul Gandhi as a candidate for prime ministership?
We're looking forward to 2024, Haryana, Maharashtra, Jammu, Kashmir, Jharkhand. We're looking forward to 2025, which is Delhi, Bihar. And Rahul Gandhi ji himself is looking forward to 2027, Gujarat, in which he wants to oust the Gujarat government.
Okay.
We'll talk about 2029 after we get there.
Okay, I want to end by talking about Manipur. And I want to talk about Manipur because, not just because you're from the Northeast or because I spent some time reporting from Manipur, at least last year when the strife was at its peak, but also because I think people have forgotten that when a no confidence motion was brought against the government on Manipur, you were the lead speaker. You've mentioned Manipur several times in this conversation. Yes, the Congress has taken the 2 seats, but the state government still belongs to that of the BJP. Everybody I speak to in Manipur says that de facto the state is partitioned. That if you're a Kuki, you cannot go into the Meitei areas. If you're a Meitei, you cannot go into the Kuki area. So it's like an invisible line across the heart of Manipur. Yes, you put the government on the mat rightly, but what is your plan as an opposition leader for Manipur?
The opposition, plan A is to tell the people of Manipur they are not alone. Is to tell the people of Manipur they are not invisible. Is to tell the people of Manipur they are seen, they are heard, and they will be represented in the Indian Parliament, whether through Rahul Gandhi or through our 2 MPs. Not only Rahul Gandhi, but also our MP from the inner valley of Manipur made a very passionate speech. Rahul Gandhi has visited Manipur 3 times. We are constantly in touch, and we want to put the pressure on the government, on the Prime Minister, because we've seen in the Northeast when there is ethnic violence, it needs a statesman at the level of the Prime Minister to come and build that bridge that is necessary to overcome the trust deficit, to overcome the pain and grief that everybody rightfully feels. Everybody feels, whether Meitei or Kuki, that they have been let down by the state. Their homes were not protected, their family members were not protected, and the state law enforcement machinery were mute spectators. So we have seen that when this sentiment fosters, that it takes years for people to get back, for the state to get back. And we don't want to lose any more years in Manipur or in the Northeast to ethnic violence or local violence. So we will continue to put the pressure on the Prime Minister and remind him of his moral duty, not only as the Prime Minister, but as someone who was responsible for the unity, integrity, peace and sovereignty that go and play a healing role in Manipur.
In conclusion, if there was one word that you would use to describe the mood of the Congress today, maybe compared to what the mood of the Congress was in November or December of 2023, what is that word?
It is the wisdom of the Indian people. They saw through the mainstream media. They saw through the Prime Minister Modi's appeal on Mangal Sutra, Bhains, Gai, all of that. They saw through so much of money and the law enforcement agency. They saw through an election where the prime opposition parties' leaders were either in jail or the election funds were seized. They saw through a narrative of Ab Ki Baar 400 Par. They were clear that they wanted a strong opposition, and we have a strong opposition. It is a testament to the wisdom and sagacity of the Indian people, is what we see in the parliament today.
Gaurav Gogoi, thank you so much.
Thank you, Barkha. And if you have me, I will be happy to be on your podcast again.
Absolutely. Look forward next time in our studio.
Absolutely. Look forward to it.
Thank you.